when I was about 17 years old, 18, I had gotten home late, right? And my father was beefing. My father he was very calm a lot of the times when he would speak to me, right? But his voice was very heavy and deep, right? His accent. My father's Jamaican, right? So it was very heavy and deep and commanding. And, he's beefing. And I was like, you never let me go anywhere, right? So he looked at me and he said, where do you want to go, Sheba? As in the Queen of Sheba, right? That moment for me was very embarrassing, right? Because I had just came back from going somewhere, right? But I tried to, play games, and my father did not allow that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sharp. My father would make me answer questions. Like, I wasn't able to cry my way out of things, bat my eyelashes. There was like a standard held. A lot of women, there's no standard held. Women are allowed to be stupid. And, it's unfortunate. Women are allowed to play dumb, right? And get away with, their behaviors. Someone said, on my Instagram that they appreciate what I do because no one ever told her anything. And this goes for a lot of women. A lot of women were not corrected. They weren't told anything. And any slight embarrassment causes women to unravel. But life is full of embarrassing moments. How are you going to learn? But women want to be perfect, right? Women don't want to be made a spectacle of, and all these things that they do to women, right? Women do it to each other. And this is one of the reasons why women hide. They don't really stand in their power and authority. They don't do things because women know what women do to each other, right? So they don't like embarrassment, but they'll be quick to put someone else on the stage of embarrassment. Just the other day, I played myself about something, right? And because of that experience, I'm going to move differently. See, women don't take those experiences of embarrassment, correction, guidance, discipline as moments, as teachable moments. They just look at it as someone's trying to humiliate them. And that is the worst place to be in, because how are you going to learn anything? You don't know everything, and you will never know anything. And if you ever get to the point where you know everything, it's time for you to check out. Right? Now, those moments of embarrassment will become few and far in between. Right? I don't experience embarrassment. I experience teachable moments. And my lessons are very harsh because I'm held to a higher standard. Right? And I take those lessons with stride because I know that they're going to make me better. I don't put myself in positions to be made a spectacle of, but, I have to learn lessons here and there. And I appreciate that, because one of the telltale signs that someone doesn't give a fuck about you is they don't tell you about yourself. And that's what women are disconnecting. A lot of times, men are not telling you about your behaviors. They're just discarding you. They're just finding other outlets. They're just letting you cook, letting you rock, because they don't give a fuck enough to tell you, right? Or they just don't want to deal with your reactions from your embarrassment, right? Life is full of embarrassing moments. Right? Again, the older you get, the wiser you get, the less you're going to be put on a stage. Right? But again, this is what women do to each other. Women like to humiliate other women. Right? They like to try to perform humiliation rituals on other women. They try to do it to me all the time. Right? But because of the embarrassing moments in my life, because I always had sharp people around me, I'm able to put them on the stage instead of me. And I do it all the time, right? The only way you're going to sharpen yourself and get better is by learning, right? And sometimes those learning moments are embarrassments. You got to think of like men in the world, right? And the way they have to put themselves out there to get what they want. Women really don't have to do that, but you'll just get whatever you're given, right? You don't really have a say-so on what you receive when you just sit back and receive. That's what women want. Women hide behind this femininity trope because they really don't want to put themselves out there. And I don't mean for men, I just mean life in general, right? I believe in going out and getting what you want, but a lot of women don't believe in that because they're saving themselves from embarrassment and failure. That's really what it is. Women don't want to take losses. So they say, well, I'm feminine and things should just come to me. I don't chase, I attract. Going out and getting what you need out of life is not chasing anything. But again, women come up with all kind of crafty ways to be lazy, to avoid embarrassment, to avoid trying, right? To avoid all that comes with setting yourself apart from the crowd. Women don't want to do that. And they don't want other women to do that. Right? The pushback I get from women is their embarrassment from their behaviors. Right? They don't want to hear about how they are being disruptive, destructive. Right? They don't want to know any of this stuff because it's embarrassing. But nobody knows. I don't know you, right? If you are conducting yourself in certain ways, and I'm speaking about it, and you're realizing, yo, that was crazy, then you correct it. Nobody knows it, right? It's okay. You know, we don't know certain things we do are not good. And again, a lot of people are not telling women anything, right? And that's to your detriment. A lot of women think they're right because nobody is telling anything. A lot of women think because men don't say anything that they're doing the right thing and it's okay. That's the worst place to be in. When nobody wants to teach you anything, that's the worst place to be in. Because people are just going to watch you fall. Going to watch you fall on your face, and you got to learn the lesson the hard way. A lot of you have to learn the hard way. This is where the severe embarrassment comes from. I don't have those moments, right? I have teachable moments, right? And again, they are harsh, but they're not embarrassing because they're harsh because I'm held to a higher standard. A lot of women, there's no standard for women. They're just out here and, hoping for the best, not really putting themselves out there because they don't want to take a loss. They don't want to be embarrassed. All these things that women do to keep themselves small. Right? How you going to know you're doing something wrong if nobody tells you? How you going to know what you need to do if nobody tells you what you're not doing? Like, women have this mentality that they don't want to be told anything, and anything they're told is an embarrassment. But a lot of you are in positions you're in because nobody ever said anything to you. Now you're at a point where you're like, damn, how the fuck did I get here? It's because nobody cared to tell you, or they just didn't know to tell you. And the thing with women is you can tell women stuff as long as it makes them feel good. You can tell women, how to improve their looks, right? But you can't tell women about their weight, right? You can tell women, anything that's not going to take them too far away from what they're already doing. Because women don't want to change. You can't tell women anything, right? Everything is offensive, embarrassing. You hate women, all these things, and then you wonder why you are the way that you are at your stage in life. I question young women in your late 20s, early 30s. Why do you have multiple children already? Where are your elders? Why do you have multiple children by multiple men? And this is not shaming women, but where were the women in your life that said, what are you doing, baby? Why do you have all these kids? Every man you slept with, you thought he was worthy enough to bring forth life for him? right? Again, all these things, sometimes these decisions women make, they can't get themselves out of, and now they're embarrassed when they hear about it. And you think somebody's bashing you because they're talking about it. No, it's just that nobody ever told you. Either they didn't know to tell you, you weren't teachable, or they just didn't give a fuck, right? And so when you get to a certain point in life, your lessons are going to be embarrassing because you're too far gone. And now you got to get these harsh lessons to get yourself back on track. It may be embarrassing, but it's going to make you a better person. So one of the most jarring things about life, for women especially, is the realization that you are responsible for what you don't know. Like, no one is responsible for you. Unfortunately, all of us are not taught a lot of things that are necessary to survive and thrive in life. That's not anybody's problem. Like, unfortunately. And the reality is, there are many kinds of people in the world, right? Some of them are bad. And you are responsible for what you don't know so that you don't fall into certain predicaments. There are people who will take advantage of you. I mean, this is just the reality of things, right? Women have a very helpless approach to life because they think that people are supposed to do right by them simply because they don't know or they were never taught. That's not reality, especially for women. This is why a lot of women need to be under the covering of a man, because you will get ran over and ran through. And men will assist with that shit. I spoke about this yesterday in a post I wrote on Facebook. Men will tell you, just give a man a chance. Even if it's not them, just give any man a chance. Right? And so, not that you should go through life with fear, but you must learn as much as you can to get through life the best that you can. My work is very harsh for a lot of women because women are not, can we become victims of things, of people and situations? Sure. But you are not a victim. I don't take that stance in life because that gives away my power. Right? You are responsible for what you don't know as an adult. Should people take advantage of you? No. Do they? Yes. It's just the way that it is. It's unfortunate, and women take this self-righteous stance that people shouldn't do it and it's wrong. And yes, but it happens. That is the reality of it. Dealing with the reality of life is where women have a hard time. The reality is, shit happens and people will take advantage of you if they can. Your ignorance is not bliss. And this sounds, harsh. And women want empathy and compassion and all these things. Yes. Should we extend that to each other? Yes. That's where your friend groups come in. Right? Because out in the world, it's really eat or be eaten. Like, that's the reality. So when I talk about restoring natural order, survival of the fittest, competition, and all these things, that is the real world. Women live in a totally different world than what is reality. I say this all the time, and this is why y'all fail. Because this utopia that you think's supposed to exist doesn't. And instead of women preparing themselves, they retreat and they become helpless, and they think men are supposed to do everything for them, and very childlike, helpless, prey way of being. Not that you should be, hard and ruthless, but you should when it calls for it. Right? This is real life, whether you were taught it or not. It's your responsibility to learn it. And what you don't know, sometimes you have to learn the hard way from not knowing. Like, that's the unfortunate truth about life. And you can't escape it. Right? So, gaining as much information as you can and utilizing it, applying it, not just gaining it, because women do that. Y'all good at retaining information, but the application is the problem. Common sense, discernment, right? Being proactive in life, the skill of thinking, critical, consequential, all these things that are required for real life, women have a hard time with, and that's why women fail. Right? So you are responsible for yourself as an adult, and that is